What's up, it's your boy TNT. You just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
No. Turned up, I won't turn down. Happy in my songs, bitch, you better not test me, you excited?
TNT, welcome to DGB, bro.
What's up with you?
Nothing much. All right, so you were originally born in Marietta, Georgia, but you grew up in Sumter, South Carolina.
Yeah.
How did the two differ from each other?
Really, I mean, like being in Marietta, I was a kid, so I don't really like too much remember it. Like, so I really claim something because that's why everything happened. I feel like that's where I grew up, like really became a man because I was like 15 when I moved there. That's where everything happened from, you know what I'm saying, having kids and music, everything. So I really feel like that's like where majority of my life is. So I really couldn't tell you too much about Georgia, but I mean, it's like something's like, that's where everything happened for me.
So what did something ultimately teach you?
It really, I mean, to be honest, like I claim something so much because they really showed me a lot of love. Like a lot of people say when they like first start get on, like their hometown don't really show them love. For me, like from the jump, like when I started doing it, like people just really supported me. So I feel like that just helped me so much because like a lot of people, like they'll have people around them telling them they should be doing this and shouldn't be doing that. It's like as soon as I started doing music, like from the jump, like people was just loving it, you feel me?
So what else could you tell us, like your upbringing?
Man, growing up, I mean, it was hard. Like, I mean, you know, I don't want to like say the cliche story, but at the end of the day, it's like growing up, you feel me? Like my mom raising us, like from before I started doing music, we was just jumping from house to house. Like I probably went to 10, 15 different schools because we was just moving so much, you know what I'm saying? Like not having a stable home. So it was like, really when I moved to South Carolina, I became like a man. I started being able to do stuff for myself. So like after I quit, like I played college ball. After I played college ball, it was just like, after I quit after a year, I started doing the music. And really like, from that point on when I started doing the music, I started to be able to like really change stuff for me and my family. So the upbringing was hard. I mean, we never really had a stable home. Like we was, like really before I started doing the music, we was homeless. Like in a sense, you feel me? So like once I started doing the music, I really got to change everything for me and my family.
So, okay, through the midst of, you know what I'm saying, growing up, you know what I'm saying, you moved to something when you was like 15. When ultimately did you like get inspired by music as a whole? Like what, were you always tapped into music?
Nah, like I was always big on football, but like once I quit, to be honest, like I don't even really got no crazy story. Like I was about to join the Army. I was staying with my granddad in Tennessee. Like in the midst of all that, I moved like with my granddad in Tennessee. I was staying with him, and like the Army wouldn't work out, so I just picked up a laptop. I started making beats. Then I moved back to South Carolina, and then I did a song with this dude in my city, and the song like it really started taking off.
What's their name?
It was Loud Bambino. It was a song called "Started with a Bar," and that's a classic though. Like we did that song, and like once the song started taking off, it's like people in my city started noticing me. And I went to a school called Full Sail, so I started doing sessions. And when I started doing sessions, like everybody in my city started to know me. So like that's when I started to see like, okay, I can really do this music. But at the same time, I was still working. So it was kind of like just balancing the two.
All right, so what college you went to?
I had a scholarship at Newberry. Then I graduated from Full Sail in Florida.
Okay, what was your major?
Audio production.
So after college, right? What happened after that? You got out of college, you graduated. Now what?
Man, I graduated like a year and a half ago. Like once I graduated, it was really kind of like pointless. Like I ain't gonna lie, like the degree I got was kind of pointless because by that time I was already kind of doing like good with the music. So it was like really just like accomplishment for me. I don't really use it too much. So like really by the time I graduated, I was pretty doing good like with the YouTube and like sessions and all that.
What artists inspired you musically?
I don't really got artists in general that inspire me. I got people around me that inspire me. Like when I see people around me that's working hard, I see people around me that's doing what I'm trying to do, that inspires me. Like I don't really get inspired by music in general. I get inspired by the people around me that I really look up to or that I look to as peers that's like really working, you know what I'm saying, trying to do what I do, you feel me?
So you started making beats on YouTube?
Nah, I started on SoundClick. And then
Oh,
like,
you
man, I started on SoundClick, and it was like I was doing straight on SoundClick. And I met my boy Tego. Like once I met him, like he taught me about YouTube. And he was like, man, you gotta do this. You gotta. He taught me the formula. You feel me? And like I listened to everything he said, and I just started consistently just doing YouTube. And I went from like 5,000 subscribers to like 100, like in a year, like just by doing what he said. To be honest.
So after you hit like 100K, like you seen your career projecting, were you getting like money placements or like what was your first big placement?
Man, my first big placement was Mike Jones. You feel me? Like, I mean, back then it was big for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, back then when I got the placement, I was running around the house. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, that was my first one. But, like, that was my first, like, I guess you could call it big. I mean, back in the day, you feel me? It was big.
Were you getting a lot of people hitting you up about your beats?
Oh, yeah. I mean, now I got a pretty good catalog from Thug to Youngboy to YG, the Baby, you know what I'm saying, Young Ace, Jaden Young, you know what I'm saying, Cheryl Marty. Like, I got a pretty good catalog, you know what I'm saying.
Why do you feel like there's a cause you mentioned like, my bad, I gotta tap into it. You mentioned how you was uploading beats on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, you started getting your notoriety off of that. Why do you feel it's such a double standard with YouTube producers versus media, or industry producer versus a tight beat producer? Like, why you feel like there's so many levels of creativity? Like, either way it go, it's still like, you know what I'm saying, production. So why do you feel like people categorize it?
Because I feel like people look at a YouTube producer like they're not as serious, you feel me? Because like everybody can access them. But at the end of the day, it's like, I tell people all the time, like YouTube changed my life. Like, as soon as I started doing YouTube, like, I ain't worked a job in years, you feel me? I take care of my family just off of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I even got into the industry. So it's like, people look at YouTube like, you know what I'm saying, everybody can access their beats. They're not real producers. But at the same time, it's like, we put in work, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I mean, my goal is to, like, break into the industry, like, officially.
So you talk about this studio session with Young Scooter. How did that session happen?
Man, I was in Atlanta. I used to ride the bus to Atlanta. I used to catch like the Greyhound to Atlanta, like just come down off of Faith. And I was about to dip, and then dude named Sean called me. He was like, "I want you to pull up on Scooter." I'm like, man, I'm thinking in my head, I ain't got no beats, you feel me? But I'm like, what I'm supposed to do? Tell him, nah, you feel me? So I just went. I'm sitting there like, I didn't know he was gonna be sitting right beside me. So I pull up to the session, we sitting down, I'm trying to go through my email. They let me use their computer. I'm trying to go through my email looking for beats. I'm trying to look at beats like my boy sent me. It was just like, it was bad. Like, I was playing like, it was embarrassing, you feel me? I mean, but it was a learning lesson. It really taught me like to be prepared. Like, I mean, I'm a producer with no laptop. You feel me? Like, that was the worst experience though.
What Scooter say?
I mean, he was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, I probably in the back of his head, he was like, I'm probably not gonna work with this dude again. But he played it cool though, you feel me? He didn't pick none of the beats though.
At this point, you've been producing for 4 years. What have you learned so far about the industry?
Man, I learned like a lot about the industry. It's really about popularity. I feel like a lot of people mess with you about like what you can do for them. I feel like with the music, you gotta have a circle. You gotta get like a legit circle of people that you can really like rock with. Cause the rest of the industry, they just want, what can you do for me? And once you can't do nothing for them, it's like on to the next, you feel me? So like get that circle of people that you can generally rock with, that you can really build with outside of just music, build with them and create something with them. So people be coming to you. Cause if you trying to like continually just coming to people like, I can give you this service, like once you can't give them that, they move it on to the next person. So build your brand so big that everybody coming to y'all, you feel me? Like it's like building an empire. Get a team of people, build up, have everybody coming to you.
Your biggest record today is YG and the Baby, Stop Snitching.
Yeah.
How that song come about?
The beat was sent to his A&R, and the beat, it was crazy because I mean everybody pretty much know now. The beat originally was released by Glock 9, and it was like he just put like a little 5-in-1 challenge on it. But like we heard about the song and we like YG was on it, but we didn't know the Baby was on it at the time. And like eventually, like down the line, we got all the paperwork and everything straight. And he was like, my boy Tego had a session with him. He was like, I'm about to perform this at Coachella. I'm gonna drop my album. This is gonna be the single. We like, man, all right, cool. You feel me? Everything he said legit happened. Like he performed it at Coachella. It was a single on his album. Like, I mean, it went crazy. Like it should be almost gold. You feel me? Yeah.
So you gonna get your first plaque?
Yeah.
How that feel?
Man, it feel great. I done put in so much work.
Word.
Like people like they see the beats, but they don't see like the countless hours you put in. They don't see the not sleeping. They don't see the going from state to state. Like they just think that you just sit behind a computer and make beats and it just come about. But it's like the beats is easy. You know what I'm saying? Like the business is where it's at. Like you gotta grind, you gotta want it. You feel me? Like you could just make beats all day. You could be hard, but if you're not getting them out there, it's pointless.
So yeah, you speak a lot about the work ethic, because a lot of people don't know the work ethic of like what it is in the music industry or the music business alone.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like anxiety plays a role in that, or how do you deal with deal with the anxiety or deal with when everything gets overwhelming?
I mean, I kind of just try to separate it. You feel me? Like pretty much everybody can tell like I do have like anxiety, but at the same time I understand that if I want to be in the industry, you got to put that to the side. You got to understand that you got to do what you got to do. Like this is your life. You can't let that get in the way of you trying to be successful. So if I go into a session, like I put all that to the side. Like you'll never know. Like even me doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like me talking, I don't really talk to people much. But at the same time, it's like you got to do this. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn. You got to be social, because at the end of the day, music is all about networking. And if you're just trying to be to yourself, you only can go so far.
Right. What song? So you almost going gold. You got a plaque on the way. So what other songs do you got in the stash that we should know about?
I got I'm gonna just say it. I don't know if I can say it or not, but I got I know I got Rod Wave featuring Kevin Gates dropping. I got something on Lil TJ album. I got Jaden Young and feature Lucci dropping. I got Young Age dropping. I got Glock 9 dropping. I got a pretty good amount of stuff dropping. I don't know some of that stuff I could say, but it is what it is.
You work a lot with Jaden Young. How is it like working with Jaden Young? I
mean, I met him one time. Like, the session was cool. Like, he a genuine person. But like, he just like rock with my beats. I think I like pretty much been on like every one of his tapes. But I mean, like as a session, like I only like got in with him one time.
Taking everything you learned so far as a producer, would you start a label of producers, or would you start a record label of artists?
Man, to be honest, I got 8 artists I want to sign, and I got some producers I want to sign. So, I mean, it's definitely in the works. Like, I ain't gonna like mention the name right now, but I got an artist I want to sign, and I got a couple producers in the works too.
Any producers you want to work with in the future?
I mean, I just like working with producers I can vibe with. I don't really like going off of the name. Like, you could be the biggest producer, but if I can't vibe with you, I ain't really tripping about working with you. So like, really, artists?
I said it's the same with artists.
Nah, like, I mean, artists is different, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, it's a business. But, I mean, artists I genuinely want to work with, like, the top of the top, it'd be J. Cole, you feel me? Like, once I get to J. Cole, it's like, all right.
Anything else you working on right now?
I mean, right now, it's just working. Like, just really, my biggest thing I'm working on right now is, like, I'm putting my face to the name. Everybody know my tag, but it's like, now they gotta know my face. So, like, really, that's what I'm working on. Like, I'll be in the studio, they'll know me, but they won't know me. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm just, like, working on getting my face out there. So people actually can, like, when they see me, they like, I know that's him, instead of just knowing my tag.
Tryna find my soul now. I can go to shows now. Got me a new pole now. Got me a new hoe now. I'm about to cop that rose now.